Shabba shabba dabba dabba dabba. What's up? It's Whitney, bro. And in today's video, I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to use products that I have not reached for in a minute. Some of them I think it's going to go well. Some of them I don't think it's going to go well. But we're still going to do it either way. We're going to pick out some things from each category that I just haven't used in a hot minute. So if that sounds like your jam, stay tuned. It's even dusty. That's how long it's been since I've used this. I'm going to be going in with the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. I made a pretty big dent in this. It's been so long since I've used it, I really can't remember. I can't remember, like, ins and outs of using it, if I should use it a certain way or not, or if I like using it a certain way. I don't really remember anything about it. So I just got some on my finger. Too much, not enough, who knows? And I'm going to spread it across my hands. And we're going to put it on the face. And we're going to see. We're going to see. It does leave an actual, like, pearlescent cast. So it feels really nice on the skin, though. Like, the texture of it. I think I just hated how your hands are shiny after using it. But that's what the makeup eraser's for. So, or a towel, whatever. Next up, I'm going to mix two foundations. I'm using the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie foundation. And I'm going to mix it with some white LA Girl Pro Conceal just to lighten the color. I haven't used either of these in a long time, so we shall see. As you can see from that, a little too dark for me. It's my summer shade for sure. I always use my cheap makeup brushes to mix it, and I grabbed one of my Sigma brushes, and I was like, oh, no, ma'am, we're not mixing using a Sigma brush. That's just not happening. Okay, and see, now we've got a color that's much more workable with my current skin tone. Okay. In person, it's actually a really decent match. And I am just kind of painting this on. It's been so long since I used this foundation, I cannot remember if it's better with a brush or a sponge. So I'm going to try it with a brush. So we've got it mixed and slathered all over the face. So I'm going to go in with my Mange brush. It's just kind of a domed buffing brush. And I'm going to start blending that in. Ooh. I don't mind that. Let me get a close-up mirror. The primer has created a little bit of a weird texture underneath. I think that might be why I didn't like it. Ooh, it's gathering in my dry patches really bad. I do have to film another video after this, so I really hope it doesn't turn out terrible for how my skin's looking right now. I'm gonna give it like a 5 out of 10. It ain't looking too hot up close. But I am gonna use some powder and hope that the powder kind of mattifies. I'm gonna hope that the powder kind of blurs what's going on, and maybe that'll look a little bit better. The next product I'm using is the e.l.f. Halo. That's not Halo. I'm so used to saying that because I love the Halo line. But the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I loathe this concealer. This was actually, I made a little burn book about this concealer where I took the Regina George picture out and replaced it with this. She's the fugly slut. No, for real. I hate this concealer, but it's been a while since I used it, so it qualifies to be used. And it doesn't matter if I use a little bit or a lot, it never seems to go well for me. But we're going to leave that there, let it sit for a moment, and move on to the next product, which is bronzer, which for that, I'm actually going to go into the Rachel Leary palette from, this is her Ultimate Goddess palette, and I'm going to use the bronzer right here in this palette. Mainly just because it's been a hot second since I've pulled this out. Watch, I go look back. It's been like 2 videos ago. But no, for real. I don't remember disliking this bronzer. The main reason I don't use it more often is just because it's in such a large palette. She had a more like travel friendly size one that was like a coral color, and I wish I would have got that, but it sold out before I could ever buy it, and now they don't make it anymore. So, but I love Rach. She's one of my favorite creators. She's just very down to earth. Ooh, maybe we put a little too much there. That's okay. That is a-okay. Gonna get her done. Get our done. I don't know if it's the primer or the foundation, but my face is itching right now. And I'm just finishing bronzer. It really is a cute little bronzer for, you know, when you divide out the price per pan. It's a good value, this palette. Like I said, I almost wish she would have made it magnetic so that I could pop those out and put them in like a Z palette or something, because I would be more prone to use it if I could access it a little easier than with this Gigantor palette. Now that we've gotten it all mattified with the bronzer, I'm going to stay on the same theme of something that I haven't used in a long time, which is another Rach Leary project, which is another Rach Leary product, and this is the Revolution Glow Golden Hour. And it's supposed to be it says highlighter on the back, but it's really not a highlighter. It's supposed to be a glowy, like a glowy bronzer. If you're a darker skin tone than me, though, it could very well be a highlighter for you. But she basically made this to kind of add some luminosity back to the skin. And her palette actually came with a product very similar to this, but in the vein of the video, we're just going to go ahead and use a whole separate product. And there's a very fine line with this product of adding radiance and literally making your forehead look gold. So be warned with that. It has a huge mirror, though. That's what I really like about it. Even if I don't plan on using it, I'll bring it with me places simply because it has such a good mirror. And it's coconut scented, which I love because I love anything coconut scented. But like I said, this is just going to add a little bit of radiance back to where the bronzer was very matte. Okay. And now, 6.5 years later, we're going to go in and blend out the concealer. And I am going to use a brush for that. I kind of pop between a powder puff and a brush. It's really whatever I'm feeling that day. But we're going to blend this out with a brush and see if I still hate it as much as I used to. The coverage is quite intense, which from that perspective, I can see why people love this concealer. But my issue with it is like the texture of it and how it wears. So far, my opinion on this concealer has not changed. I hate it. She's still a fugly slut. And if you like it, more power to you. You know, I ain't trying to yuck your yum. I'm just saying for me and my face and how I use concealer, she's not it. But it's the theme of the video, so we're rolling with it. The next product is a cream blush. It is candy paint in the shade Millions of Peaches. I just haven't used this shade in a while. Nothing against it. I've just been reaching for other things lately. It's called Millions of Peaches, but it really leans more pinky. I wish it was more true peach. And maybe on lighter skin tones it is more true peach, but on my skin tone it is very pinky. A beautiful blush formula, though. Like I said, this one I do still love. I know it's not going to give me any issues. I know how I feel about it, basically. I have the babiest little pan in there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the teeniest little pan. This isn't a product that I haven't used in a while. It's just the only powder I have, which is the e.l.f. Halo Glow. I can't show you the lid because I have it in the lid. So, and I'm just going to go in and try to set that concealer, which I don't normally do, but we're going to see if setting it, ooh, okay. Setting it does help the texture. So that is good to know. Setting it kind of gets rid of some of the parts of it that I hated how it looked. Now I'm going to go in with the Halo Glow powder all over the face. And honestly, the primer that we used is supposed to be illuminating or radiant, whatever you want to call it. I think that pure foundation is just too powerful because the radiance really is not coming through. Like my forehead looks radiant, but that's because of the Rach Leary product that we used. Powder is definitely helping with some of the texture issues I'm having. For eyeshadow, I did go ahead and prime my eyes off camera because I don't really have a primer that I haven't used in a while. All of my primers I pretty much use intermittently and rotate them. But for eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the KVD Edge of Reality shadow palette. I'm going to go in with the deep brown shade. Actually, no. First, I'm going to go in with this shade right here. Kind of a mid-toned, almost like peachy brown. And I'm just going to run that all along the crease. I really enjoy this eyeshadow palette. It performs well. I think I just forget about the mattes in this palette because they're just not as interesting as the shimmers in this palette. So that's part of why I kind of, forget to reach for this. I'm going to go in with a flat packing brush and go into that darkest shade in the palette and just build that up on the outer corner. And if I don't like what this packing brush is doing, I'm going to just go in with the blending brush. This is a dual-sided brush from a Sigma palette. And then I'm going to switch back to that first color and just buff out the edges of the brown that we just placed. Okay, I really like that. That's really pretty. I'm going to go ahead and build it up the same way on the other side. They're very pigmented mattes. Which, again, I haven't used this palette, especially the mattes in this palette, in a while. So this is kind of a pleasant surprise. I just didn't expect that much pigmentation out of that brown. I thought it looks a little ashy in the pan, so you almost think it's going to be lackluster when you use it, but that deepened out the outer corner really nicely. I think I'm going to use this really pretty duochrome green. It doesn't really go with the like peachiness of this look, but I don't really care because it's calling to me. And I think I'm going to put it all over the lid. Yeah, let's just put it all over the lid. I really like how this look is turning out. Like, for it being stuff that I really don't use that often. It's coming together and shaping up for a really pretty look. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the dark brown and just feather it onto the edge of that shimmer just so it blends a little bit better. So there's not like a harsh line. Okay. I am thoroughly impressed with this palette. I think I'm going to put this back in rotation a little bit more because it came out a lot better than I initially anticipated it would when I picked the palette out. The next product I'm going to go in with is the LA Girl Perfect Precision. I usually use this I usually use the shade Chocolate, but this is the shade Sugar and Spice, which is a lighter, kind of nudier. That's not a word. Okay, and then another product I haven't used a whole lot is the Lip Crayz in the shade Buff. And it's just kind of a lighter color. I don't know if I love that with this eye look. I do have this Kylie lip liner. Let me try to use that to darken this up a little bit. Okay, that's better. I like it with the Kylie. The Kylie lip liner would be better if it didn't do this. Like, how cheaply made is that? I got mine on sale at Ulta, so I'm not like that butthurt about it. But imagine paying the full like $20 or whatever that these normally cost, and it does that. Oh, I'd be livid. And lastly, for mascara, I'm going to go in with the Essence Lash Princess. I remember this mascara was everywhere at one point. Like, you could not get on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok without seeing somebody use this mascara. And I still like it. I've just found others that I like more. But for how cheap Essence is and the quality that you get for the price point, I fully understand why this is a lot of people's go-to. Because when you're talking about a mascara that's less than $5, you know, you can't beat it for what it does and for what it costs. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me revisit these products that I haven't used in a minute. It was a lot of fun coming up with the look. There were some things I was pleasantly surprised by, like the eyeshadow palette. I am going to rotate that into more regular use because I really, really like the way that my eyes look, and I'm just impressed with it. But that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!